All right, welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Late Night on Chain. It is late night somewhere in the world, not where I am. It's actually midday, but it doesn't have the same name. Lunchtime with Bill, lunchtime on Chain. No, late night on Chain sounds way better. Anyways, I'm Bill. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday for us in the States, but wherever you are in the world, happy whatever day it is. Good show today. A lot to talk about. Obviously, Robinhood is not showing any signs of slowing down. Pretty insane that it just keeps going. And we are at the stage where it is critical. I repeat, critical to not overtrade, to not over diversify. You will get crushed because when one thing isn't running, something else is. And the thing you're in, if you decide to chase it, well, guess what happens? That stops running, and the thing that you just left starts chasing, and you're fucked. That's just how it works. So you have to have conviction. Whatever you decide to do, please have conviction. Otherwise, you will get rinsed. Absolutely get rinsed. That is your advice from your friend, Bill the Bull. Again, nothing I say is financial advice, but I'm just giving you advice here. Not financial advice, just advice. As a boomer who needs a haircut, I really do need a haircut. It's pretty crazy. My hair is like a little afro. Anyways, good show today. We have two cool guests. First of all, one of our new supporting sponsor is DTF, DeFi Traded Fund, and I'm excited to have them on, and I'll tell you why. Not because they're just my sponsors, that supporting sponsor. They are actually market makers, and they from backgrounds, so they understand, especially with these stock token pairings or a basket of tokens where, the indexes of the world where you buy in and then you get distributed, tokenized assets. It only works if there's volume, right? That's the only way it works. And typically in literally every project, volume will eventually die. So you need to generate the ability to create volume. And so they understand that that's a case. So what they would do is then take the fees. Portion of it goes obviously to the holders. A portion goes to a lottery, but then they take the other part and they find different ways to generate yield off of that. And with their market making abilities, they have that. So looking forward to having them on. And also we have Quotient, Jordan and the team from the Farcaster ecosystem. They launched on Banker, I believe. And listen, Jordan is a genius. So we're going to talk to him about Quotient. A lot of people like what they're building. But again, first and foremost, shout out to the 200 plus tuning in live. Got to make sure my sponsors feel loved with a capital L, because your boy is not sponsored by, a big ass company. He's got to pay the bills and he needs new lighting. So the only way to get that is through sponsors. So again, this episode and all the episodes of the month of August are brought to you by Easy A Kickstart. Now, Easy A is pretty much incubating the top AI and tech projects on Solana. Solana has had the reputation being pump fun city where it's just about meme coins. That has now changed because Easy A is now here and they're attracting some of the world's best talent and best builders. So if you're looking to launch on Solana and you're building something in tech, highly recommend checking out the Kwok brothers, Phil and Dom, what they've created with Easy A Kickstart. They have, in the traditional world, they have incubated so many big projects, talking billion-dollar projects. Now they're bringing it on chain. So shout out to Easy A if you're interested. Go to and check them out. A couple more sponsors we got going on. We got Banker. Now, most people know what Banker is. I don't need to really give a huge deal, but they provide a agentic tool for agents to operate autonomously on chain. Banker is where builders launch agentic businesses, raise from the market, and reach their audience, back the next generation of founders, or become one. But they also have made a push onto Robinhood, and now they're integrating stuff with Sushi Swap. And a lot's going on. So they're multi-chain. They do the builders, launching legit projects, but they also allow you to deploy memes and stuff. So check them out. Two more sponsors, Buildify. Give it a shout out to them. They are a launchpad on multiple chains. Robinhood, Ethereum, and they're coming to base for mid-phase that allows everyone to get in launchpads from no bonding curve, locked LP, builders or ETH from trading fees, not token allocations. I like them because they have no token and they're in a really tough spot, right? Because they're building a launchpad, and that's, they're going against conglomerates at this point. Sushi, Uniswap. I mean, even Pawns obviously is now becoming a blue chip, but they're out there and they're still trying and they're still building. They earn my respect. So shout out to Buildify. And last but not least, our guest of today will be DTF. Tokenized stocks already crossing $1 billion trading days. What if you earn from that volume? That's ETF, a treasury of the world's most valuable companies, compounding every time a stock trades on chain. Hold it and you're exposed to that growth. Stake it. You also get paid in stocks every hour with one staker winning the premium prize. Tens of thousands already paid out stakers. RWAs are moving on chain. DTF is how you get paid for it. I love that little slogan. It's just solid. But yes, without that, real quick, market's doing market things. Prism, absolutely parabolic. I think Prism hit about 750. Motion, man, Motion hit like 15 million. That thing was literally 600K. Literally 600K when they came on. Insane growth. Now it's around 10 million. This market is just kind of wild. You guys just find gems and just gotta hold on to them. Figure out what you like. There's other projects out there. Anyways, markets definitely risk on at the moment for Robinhood. All right, but without further ado, I think it's time to bring on the one, the only, Damien from DTF. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great, sir. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure. And of course, as a supporting sponsor, I am very happy to have you on, happy to integrate you into our show and let people know more about what you're building because I think it's really cool. So, why don't we start from the beginning, sir? What is DTF?
So, DTF is your access to tokenized stocks and their success on chain, right? DTF solves a problem that a lot of people on chain have. Stocks are coming on chain. They are doing $1 billion of volume across chains. And in order to get exposure to them, you need to know what to invest in. You need to know a lot of DeFi to earn yield from them. DTF is basically a product that makes it super easy, wraps it into a token, and gives you that exposure twice over, right? If you hold it, you get exposure to an ever growing treasury of tokenized stocks. And if you stake it, you get the most successful companies rewarded to you every draw, and you get a chance to win a big prize almost every hour.
What is it about tokenized stocks that makes you realize that this is inevitable? This is going to become big. Why? Some people say it's just a flash in the pan. Others, like you, are tripling down on it. What is it about tokenized stocks that makes you realize, like, hey, this is going to be big?
So DTF in essence and like tokenized stocks is a bet on Robinhood and the success of RWAs. Why are most people in crypto, right? Like in essence, we want to buy low and sell high. But most of the time, the tokens that we're trading, they don't have any intrinsic value. They don't have fundamental value. There have been different approaches of making tokens more valuable through buybacks, through tying them with revenue. But tokenized stocks are essentially the most valuable companies in the world, and they're tokenized. And there's always going to be volume for them because there's a whole traditional financial world where they're trading, and then when you list them on Robinhood chain, there's a whole crypto world where they're trading. So there will always be price differences, and there will always be opportunities for a DeFi traded fund to make flow, to make revenue, to make profits from these market inefficiencies. When we look at traditional finance, right, like it's so archaic, it's disgusting. They're still holding all of these stocks as signed papers in vaults. Like we've heard from Vlad, we've heard from many people that tokenization is democratization. The stocks are going to be traded 24/7 globally on chain. That's why tokenization of stocks is inevitable. There is always going to be opportunity to make money, and DTF is exactly a bet on that.
Do you think that this project, I guess, let's start with this and shout out to the 900 plus people tuning in. So obviously a lot of people understand this concept of tokenization of stocks, holding an asset and getting it, such as Index. Index was probably the first one who did that, and it was novel. How do you guys operate as DTF? Because you guys aren't the only ones who have the idea of bringing tokenized stocks to holders and rewarding them. How does DTF differ than the other projects you see on Robinhood?
That's a great question, Bill. Our biggest differentiation is that we're sustainable. A lot of the protocols like Index or others that provide stock dividends, they only charge a fee on the transaction of their own token, and then they use that fee to buy stocks and distribute to holders. And Index was doing really well, but like from generating $10,000 of fees a couple weeks ago while the volumes were high, right now it's generating around 1 to 1.2k a day in fees and
Mm.
distributing those stocks. Whereas DTF is sustainable because the 3% fee that we charge on the DTF trades is just an ignition. So we take that 3%, with the help of that 3%, we grow a treasury of tokenized stocks. And we deploy that as active capital, as active liquidity on Robinhood chain. And that's currently earning upwards of 36% yield on its own. So in a world where DTF is not traded at all, our treasury is still deployed as much needed liquidity on Robinhood chain and earns not only from DTF trades, but also any tokenized stock volume trade. So that's the biggest differentiator. And secondly, we're currently like DTF. The only the if you look at the 3% fees, it's already earning more fees daily compared to Index. We're earning around 1.2k versus like Index's current amounts.
So
And
basically, you're able to utilize, and you have been able to utilize the yield of the, because obviously all these projects volume comes in. Those are the days that you make more fees. But what you're saying is you've taken a percent of the fees and now you're making money on top of that to sustain the treasury, correct?
that is correct, regardless of DTF volume. As long as there is volume on tokenized stocks on Robinhood chain, DTF will make more money. It will compound wealth.
So that means you take strategies that like yield bearing strategies. How does that work? Because right now, tokenization of stocks, I mean, one of the interesting aspects is DeFi lending protocols with tokenization. There's stuff that's trying to be built. Are you then taking that fees? Like, how does it work? Are you adding liquidity to say, I don't know, tokenize NVIDIA, and then the NVIDIA is being traded and generating fees that way? Is that the simplest way?
Exactly. That's the simplest way you can think about it. And as you mentioned, we come from this background, right? Like we know all the ways to make money with tokenized stocks. And as time goes on, more and more strategies will be deployed. But yes, in essence, half of the fees that we generate from DTF trades, we've generated over $50,000 in a week.
Just on
So
fees?
yes.
Wow.
Um, so we currently have a $28,000 worth of treasury. And that treasury, you could go to our website, dtf.finance. You could see all the tokens, all the tokenized stocks it's allocated to. We hold SpaceX, NVIDIA, Apple, you name it. Those are already earning yield by being much needed liquidity on Robinhood chain, by becoming the Robinhood chain's liquidity layer for tokenized stocks. And the remaining $25,000 from the fees generated is actively distributed to all our holders through premium draws. And that's actually a second differentiator we have compared to the likes of other stock dividend protocols. We're not only distributing all the fees evenly. If you stake DTF and if you become a stakeholder, every hour there's a premium draw. So the remaining fees, the $25,000, half of that is basically given out to the winners of the premium draw. For example, someone just won 2.5k for
Wow.
staking DTF only like one time, right? Only during
Sure.
one draw. Whereas the remaining half of that amount is distributed evenly to stakeholders. So you get yield to participate in these draws, but also you can win big.
Wow. And so this premium draw is once a week, and everyone has a equal chance to win that if they're staking, correct?
Yes, so depending on the amount you're staking
Yeah.
and the length of your stake, you get a higher chance of winning.
Very interesting. And I'm sure that holder was quite happy, wasn't he or she?
Yeah, they were extremely happy, and it's actually more often than once a week. It would be once every 2 days we'll get a winner, and they will get upwards, like typically upwards of $500 to 2.5K has been the largest.
So would
And
you? I'm sorry.
yeah,
Continue.
as volume increases, right, we'll see an increase in these rewards. Like the more people buy, the more people trade DTF, the treasury will grow, as well as the rewards for stakers, for stakeholders will grow.
How early do you think we are in this whole narrative of tokenization of stocks on Robinhood? Do you think we're like truly at the ground zero at the beginning? Do you think we're somewhere in the middle? What's your overall stance as to where we are in the market?
We're seeing a lot of incumbents enter the market, right? Like I can't say, oh, we just started. I'm sure you saw our blog post. It's a land grab, and a lot of institutions are already on here, right? Like most people don't realize, but the liquidity you're seeing on Uniswap, these are essentially institutions, right? Like institutions are deploying from their own balance sheets to provide this liquidity. You have BlackRock having its own projects. We're seeing like Robinhood coming into the market, right? Like it's huge for us. It's amazing to have access to that retail flow, but it's also showing you that it's validated and it's not just an early opportunity. We're actually seeing some real demand from real players in the world entering the tokenized stock market.
Do you?
But what you can do with DeFi, with these stocks,
Yeah.
we have just barely scratched the surface. We're super excited about DTF because when you look at traditional markets, right, like a lot of people, a lot of retail don't know what to buy, don't know which equities to buy, so they invest in ETFs. And over the past 5 years, income ETFs have taken off. So they've grown over the past 5 years to $180 billion market where you get best of both worlds, right? Like you hold the best companies, but also you're getting yield income to hold those assets. And that's what we're bringing to DeFi. We're basically combining the DeFi yield, which has been insane, right? Like traditional finance cannot even be compared to DeFi yield with the most fundamentally sound assets that are coming from TradFi.
Interesting. So yeah, like the likes of BlackRock are coming in, they see the opportunities. How do you okay, so then talk to me about this because one of the interesting things is as a founder, as a builder coming into the space, it's a very, we live in a world where, there's a lot of people building things, right? There's because of the rise of AI and agentic tooling no longer is the moat of actual build. It's getting the distribution and whatnot, getting people to know. From your perspective, what has been the hardest thing that you have faced personally in building a DTF and sustaining market product market fit? Is it just distribution? Is it the technical aspect? Talk to us about the journey as a builder. What have been some of the harder things than you imagined?
That's a great question. So DTF is very new, right? We started almost a week ago. So it's very early, but definitely breaking through the noise, communicating what we stand for, why we stand for. Like we're here for the people, we're here for every individual that's been in crypto to begin with. Like this shift is happening, it's a paradigm shift,
Mhm.
and we want you to be a part of the liquidity. We want you to be a part of the stronghold that's holding this land for you, and communicating that, going through the right channels. Like we're grateful to have people like you, Bill, who understand our story, who understand us, and who help us communicate that to the people. So that's been probably the most challenging part.
Yeah, yeah, it's challenging, but that's the thing. Like you guys deserve credit because a lot of people aren't even taking that steps, but they understand that hey, this is something that we need to do and to improve. And it's not a marathon, right? I mean, it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So taking product market fit and then slowly letting it go and cook is the way that are going to separate projects like yourselves from others. What's next for you guys? Is it establishing more of a community? Is it now putting your product out to more people? What's the focus for the next, 1 to 2 months while you're generating yield on a daily basis through these primitive ways of providing liquidity?
So the initial week for us was just a launch, right? Like we can now say that we found meaningful product market fit. It's amazing that we were able to generate like over $50,000 within a week of launch for the treasury. We've deployed half of that to tokenized stocks. They're also generating really good fees. So like the flywheel is working. And the next steps are building a community, right? Like we stealth launched because we wanted to give DeFi traders, DeFi enthusiasts, an opportunity to read into us and to have an opportunity to buy in before we really push on marketing, before we like fully create a community. But that's going to be top priority right now. And the second thing we will be focusing on is basically adding more strategies, growing our treasury even further, and making DTF a success for all of our stakeholders.
Talk to me real quick. When you did a stealth launch, what was the reason again for doing that? Like, what? I know. Are you glad you did it that way versus a different way? Was it why stealth it?
First of all, we wanted to allow anyone who's in DeFi who understands what we're building, right? Like, there's a lot of hype investing in crypto. We wanted to have people basically who believe in what we're building, who understand what we're building, have the ability to join on the ground floor. That's why we did a stealth launch. We obviously like created a X account, we posted about what we're building, and then we deployed the website which had all the information around DTF, what we stand for and why we're doing what we're doing, um, so that anyone who's interested could read it, could come in and could become a part of our journey. And it worked out really well. We've had some early buyers who really believe in the project, and we've been able to get to this point purely organically.
Yeah, so talk to me. We have a few more minutes. Talk to me about, and again, I just want to give a shout out to the 2,300 people tuning in live late night on chain um, with Damien from DTF. What what is your community like currently as you grow into this project and you have a very healthy market cap and everything's looking solid, but you're still very early? What's the community like so far that you've formed? What are they like?
So we've recently launched our Telegram channel. It's on our Dex Screener page. If you want to join, you can join. Our community currently consists of some DeFi enthusiasts, people who understand DeFi and who want to become a part of the paradigm shift of tokenized stocks on chain.
Mm.
Some of these people reached out to us over X. Some of them we've reached out individually, who we found interesting, and we're bringing them all together now on a common ground.
Very cool. Very cool. And what else? Like how has this experience been for you? Has it been rewarding as a builder? Because again, it's very challenging, but you're on something so new and I think it's different. But like as you as a person, you know, this is an important question. You could be doing, you come from a background where it's market making, liquidity, you're very obviously accomplished. You've chosen to build this project and you didn't have to. So let me ask you a simple question. Why are you doing this?
Bill, it's a great opportunity. Like the world right now is just focused on AI and AI agents and whatnot.
Mm,
But we're literally seeing money become programmable, right? Like we've seen one of the biggest things that took off with crypto was stable coins. And now we're seeing the same exact technology being applied to the most valuable companies in the world. And not a lot of bright minds are looking into this field. Like Robinhood entering tokenized stocks is insane. Them showing that they believe in this. And crypto having a route to all the retail users on Robinhood is an amazing opportunity. But with every opportunity, right, there is some responsibility that's coming in. Like we're going to see a lot of incumbents, we're going to see a lot of traditional finance institutions that are going to come in, try to claim this land, whereas we, as the people who are native to DeFi, we need to claim it. We need to own the liquidity. We need to create flywheels where all the volume on Robinhood returns back to it on Robinhood chain, returns back to it as liquidity for everyone who's trading on the chain. So we believe in this future. We think it's a great opportunity, and we want to help DeFi native users become a core part of that future. We don't want people to be sidelined.
I love it. I love it. With innovation comes opportunity, and you guys are taking it right to the chest. And listen, man, we are going to cook. We are going to create content. We are going to do what we can to bring more visibility and exposure to DTF. And I look forward to seeing it grow. Damien, any last words do you have for the 2,600 people tuning in live late night on chain?
Yeah. Every trade feeds the DTF treasury. The treasury deepens the pools, and the deeper the pools invite more trading. We're compounding wealth for all of us.
Simple, beautiful, and I love it. And I like the fact that you understand this can't just be only volume based. You have to make your money work for you. That is the only way a company can sustain itself. Damien, as always, man, I appreciate you, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We will definitely be chatting soon. Like I said, we'll also have a few clips made for you. Our team will set it up. We'll tag you, and like I said, we're gonna cook some content, man. So looking forward to the next month.
Love it.
All right, man. Take care.
Bye.
All right, that is Damien DTF. I love it. I'm telling you right now, guys, keep your eye on that one. Keep your eye on that one because liquidity treasury is extremely important for any project to grow, for anything to sustain itself. It can't just be only volume based because we live in an attention world and volume is fleeting. Everything will fleet because why? We're in this industry where the next shiny object's coming in, and you got to prepare for that. You do got to prepare for that. So shout out to him. I'm excited. I'm excited to see everything cook and grow. All right. Before we bring up Jordan from Quotient, once again, this episode is brought to you by Easy A Kickstart. Let's make sure we play a commercial clip for them because, that's what I got to do. I got to make sure I showcase my sponsors, bruh. So, yes, give me a second. Give me a second. We will be playing a quick clip. Actually, let's play a different clip. I like some of their clips. Let's see. Which one do we want to play, guys? Which one, chat? We're going to play this one. Let's see. All right. A message from our sponsor, Easy Kickstart. All right. A message from our sponsor. Why am I looking so so tiny. Let's see. Let's see. I don't necessarily know why. Oh, I know why. I know why. Because of that. Because of that. Anyways, that is a message from Easy a Kickstarter. Easy a Kickstart. Now it is time to bring our next guest, and I haven't talked to him in a while, but he is Gigabrain Man, Jordan. Quotient, Jordan, how are we doing today, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Another day in this crazy space that we call crypto. My friend, what is new, man? What is new? Talk to us. Congrats on the Quotient launch. What are we doing here? What is Quotient for the 3,000 plus who might not be on Forecaster and don't really know who you are? Talk to us. What is Quotient?
Yeah, so Quotient is a platform for what we're calling forecast-driven trading. So right now with AI agents, you can take a bunch of data from different sources and come up with calibrated forecasts for where markets are headed. And with that data, you and your agent can get ahead of the market, place trades in prediction markets and perps to get in before people are reacting to headlines. So we built this AI forecasting system. We've run it for about 6 months. The accuracy is better than Polymarket, and we are launching a platform for agents to query this data, see markets that we think are mispriced, and then place trades. And we onboarded kind of an initial set of users a couple weeks ago, and the results have been great. The average return per user is 11.8% with $25,000 bet. So we've been in the lab kind of figuring out this data stuff for a while, and we're excited to get the project out to a bigger audience.
So talk to us. How does the mechanics work? So say I'm interested in what you have to offer. I own Quotient. Like what's walk me through it. Like I'm 10. Okay. What do I do, Jordan? I want to make 11%. Talk to me.
Yeah, sure. Can I share my screen?
I would love that.
Great. Cool. So you have two options, right? The first option is that you could just ask Quotient, hey, Quotient, I'm interested in markets that resolve within the next 2 weeks and where Q has upside of at least 10%. I'm not interested in tech. I'm interested in geopolitics. And that goes, it hits our API. It looks for markets relevant to like what the user is interested in. And then it looks at the forecast that Q has created for those markets and then presents the information back to the user. So this is the agentic version, which takes a little bit longer. But we also have, while we're waiting for that to finish, a UI where people can go to, what's the word? Where people can go to look at like the signals for the day that we publish to everyone. So like you can go to this UI and it'll show you like, okay, Apple likely holds second place behind NVIDIA at month's end. And you can see our forecast, how our forecast has evolved over time. You can see the market price kind of converging with the forecast. You can click in, you can look at the reasoning, and you can look at the sources, all of the other information that you might want, and then go trade on Polymarket. So that's what we launched initially. And the feedback that we got was that this is really cool, but it would be helpful if I could just use my agent to like ask you, what are the signals for the day? What are the markets that meet these criteria? So on and so forth. And do it within their setup, right? So if they're using Banker to execute trades, they can use Banker to execute trades. If they want to buy $100 of markets that meet certain criteria when they come up, they can automate that with their agent. So that's kind of the platform.
So explain to me, why are you making this public? So obviously one of the things that people might think is, if you have something that's this kind of money printer, or this intelligence that can help people make it, some people would be like, why not gatekeep it? Why not do it for yourself and go that route? What is it that drew you to being like, no, I need to make this tech, this ability to use public? Why?
Yeah, two reasons. First, the business opportunity for kind of defining a new category of trading in the agentic space, where, like, for instance, there's hundreds of thousands of people who've signed up on
Mhm.
Robinhood Crypto to do agentic trading, is a bigger market than like raising a small fund. Like, if you raise this fund of like $5 or $10 million, like, that's actually not that great of an opportunity compared to being an analytics provider that can serve data to anyone trading Bitcoin, ETH, oil, prediction markets, like kind of the confluence of two very rapidly growing categories. And the second thing is that I just believe in futarchy, like, so the concept that we are going to increasingly make decisions based off of predicting the future and granting kind of decision making authority to people who are good at predicting the future. I think that that's the direction that we're headed. So I want to place Quotient kind of in an area where there's an opportunity for immense growth versus just like gatekeeping the data and trading it ourselves and not really making an impact on the broader world.
Do you think this is Robinhood, right? Because I know you bankered it, but this is Robinhood or is this Base?
It's on Robinhood chain, or the
Okay,
token's on Robinhood chain.
so walk me through that. Obviously, you come from a base world. I originally came from base world as well. Um, what was it about launching Quotient on Robinhood versus Base? What opportunities do you see Robinhood presenting that made this a better fit than Base?
Robinhood is really emphasizing the trading of RWAs, so like tokenized stocks, equities, etc. And they have an app where people actively trade these assets. So we're trying to position ourselves to present data to that audience, which we think could help us grow the app and generate revenue for us. And like, the Base ecosystem is great, and there's elements of our products that are integrated
Mm,
with Base. But like, when I think of Coinbase, like in the Coinbase app versus the Robinhood app, it's a lot of people who are like buying and holding like Bitcoin versus
yeah.
trading perps for Apple. So we're interested like in collaborating where it makes sense, but we launched the token itself on Robinhood for that reason.
Do you think anything will change on your end? Because it's inevitable that Base is gonna to push tokenization of stocks. I mean, they're very much into the financial instruments. I've had Zen on, and we talked about them being excited about that, and so it's inevitable they'll do it. Obviously, they're much late to the game. Does that change anything in your perspective once they do bring it on chain?
No, because we're chain and venue agnostic, other than
Mm,
like the token itself, right? So like, we forecast markets on Kalshi, on Polymarket, Polymarket US, Limitless, which is on Base. The equities themselves, like, they're traded in different places, but the data is the same. So to the extent that the trading of tokenized equities and the other assets that we cover, expands on Base, that's great. That's like a larger audience for us to sell people to, or sell to, but it doesn't really matter what chain the application is on.
yeah, that's good. That's good. Changes things from a perspective of being chain agnostic gives you flexibility. Now, walk me through this, Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
because this show is also, we want to give insight to other builders, founders, traders. I mean, we have them all watching our show. Shout out to the 3,000 plus tuning in live late night on chain with Jordan for Quotient. And I think hearing stories about a builder's point of view and navigating this market, getting product market fit, and the token aspect as well. What have been some of the challenges and hurdles? Obviously, this is the token, but you're a builder. You have that down. What have been some of the challenges of bringing Quotient to market? Has it been appeasing token holders? Has it been getting more product market fit? Has it been getting more distribution? Walk me through, as a life and entrepreneur with a token attached to a project. What are some of the struggles that you've faced?
I think the biggest struggle is always clarity. In a world where people have a lot of things to do and distractions, you really need to be able to encapsulate what you do and who the audience is very clearly. And as a data product, there's a lot of things you can do with Quotient and a lot of ways to look at the data and a lot of ways that you can sell the data. But once you start getting into all the possibilities, people kind of try to tune out. So like what we've been focusing on is like, how can we get people to understand the value prop as quickly as possible and settled on the agent route? Like you just install it and then you can start asking Q anything. The second thing is that for tokens, the people who trade your token or want to buy your token may not be the people who want to use your product, right? Like there's people who might think that it's cool, that it's promising, et cetera, and be great holders, but they're not going to like go through your app and tell you like, here's like everything that you need to fix, like so on and so forth. So you really have to kind of have two parallel strategies for communicating your value prop, communicating the product, and kind of like getting people excited, because the types of things that might excite a token holder or buyer are going to be different than what's going to excite users. And ultimately, you need to do both, but it's something that requires constant balancing.
Do you feel pressure balancing the two? Because obviously, you know, there's two hats to juggle per se, and I assume it falls on you as founder. I don't know how big your team is. Do you feel pressure at all, or do you just let it be? You have a vision, and you only want to align yourselves with those that get it.
I feel pressure, but it's good pressure. It's quick feedback loops, right? And I think that if you actually engage with people, they'll usually be direct with you. So when I think of the token, it's like a great immediate feedback loop. Like if we release something or post something or whatever it is, like there's a very quick loop between X and the token. So the way that I view that is, does a normal person, the token price is kind of a measure in part of like whether normal people understand the value prop. And then with the kind of, you know, the pressure of the market cap, et cetera, like I view it less as pressure and more as just like a signal to guide certain decision making. And like ultimately, like for Quotient, the business to succeed, we need revenue from the product, right? So that's always going to be the top priority. And the token fits into that from a utility perspective of, to the extent that, you know, you hold the token, you can like get discounted access to our product, right? So you kind of have to do both, right? Like you have to be a good storyteller and drive the kind of fundamental features, improvements that are going to make the product valuable. But yeah, it's like it's pressure, but it's also like it puts you in like a really quick feedback loop, and ultimately, I think it's kind of helpful.
Yeah, the market will tell you, the community will tell you right away whether it's part of market fit, whether you're fucking up somewhere, whether you're doing something good. That's the beautiful thing about, you know, maybe on-chain stuff versus the traditional world where it's much more gated, but here it's decentralized and it's open, borderless, 24/7, never ends. What's the next focus, man? Next 1 to 2 months. Basically, the equivalent of 1 to 2 months in crypto is like a year in the traditional world. What are we focusing on in the next 1 to 2 months? What is your biggest priority, Jordan, with Quotient?
Helping users make money with Quotient. So getting one-on-one with them, looking at their workflows and posting their wins, because word of mouth from our users making money is how the product will grow. So we, to that end, the agents part of that, we're going to put up a leaderboard because people like competition. We're going to have incentives for trades placed on markets covered by Quotient. That's the singular priority. Just like how can we get hands-on with users to like make the process of them hitting Quotient to making a good trade as easy as possible.
I love it. I love it. Jordan, we have 3,200 plus people. Any last words you have for them, for the Quotient community, or for anyone in general? The floor is yours.
The message that I would send is that when it comes to data and AI, people have a lot of fear of being displaced. And there's a lot of kind of impulse to how can I automate? how can I replace myself? And I think that my message is that humans still have a very important role to play. And the biggest opportunities are going to be where you can apply your judgment and your edge to research and analysis that is aggregated for you by an agent. And I think that the people who are willing to kind of collaborate with agents and all the tools that we have available to make decisions, whether it's trades or your personal life or whatever, are going to be the people who win the most, and not the people who try to kind of automate everything and delegate it are going to fall behind.
Amazing, amazing. Jordan, it's awesome, man, to connect with you. It's been a while, and I look forward to seeing Quotient grow, and we'll make sure our team has a couple clips made by tomorrow, and we'll tag you guys. You could share it out there. But, dude, always great to have chatting with you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Jordan. Pleasure is mine. All right, that is Jordan from Quotient. Shout out to him. Very, very smart man, and analytics is his thing. So definitely check him out, especially because it seems like a great product. And if you like to make money, seems like something to check out. All right, that's it, guys. 32 plus. Great episode. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Hopefully, you're in the market, you're observing. The chain never stops. There's a lot of stuff going on too in Solana land. There's like these stonk tokens. It's actually pretty interesting. Like this pairing tokens with memes. It's doing pretty well. I'm not really in any of them, but if you're on Solana, check those out. But anyways, that's it, boys and girls. We are off for the rest of the day. Tomorrow we'll be back on. We'll be back on Thursday. We're here at noon PST, Monday through Thursday, like clockwork. Until then, peace out, everyone. Cheers.